We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
I gotta show you something. I'm super excited about this. And I feel like we're sort of drilling this topic into the ground a little bit, do you think?
No, because this is something you're excited to show off. You might as well show it off.
And I feel like this is like extra special cool, right?
Yeah.
Check it out. This is an original pre-Milton Bradley edition of Axis and Allies.
That's why it looks like that.
Circa 1981 or so. I gotta look at the box. This particular one is from Jedco Games, which is out of Australia. This came into my hands from one of our viewers, Dave, out there in New Zealand. I want to say thank you for making the arrangements to get this into my hands. That is incredibly awesome of you. I am like stupidly excited about checking this out.
He's containing himself as much as he can.
This is absolutely super awesome. So
this isn't considered a bootleg or anything.
no, this is the real deal. Before Axis and Allies came out in the edition that everyone knows and loves from Milton Bradley, it was released in the U.S. by Nova Game Designs.
Okay.
In the other hemisphere, down under, by Jedco Games, who is a fairly well-known game designer or game company. If you go on Board Game Geek, there's lots of games from Jedco Games. Different box art, and the Nova Games edition that came out here in the U.S. has different art than this.
Okay.
So people in North America would not have ever seen this edition. Yeah, so let's check it out. This is the contents of the box. These bags are me.
It's already been organized.
Well, yeah, somewhat. Because they were all loose in there. So first, check it out. The pieces are little cardboard chits. Like, here's the battleship. You can see the little battleship. And it's got the stats right on it.
Oh, okay. Got some planes.
Aircraft carrier. There's some planes. Some dudes. There's your little infantry. And each are color-coded for the countries. The color scheme is completely different on the original,
Okay.
so I'm like completely thrown off.
Yeah,
by it.
everything's... Look at this Monopoly money.
That's
It
right.
looks like life money.
Yeah, doesn't it? This is an interesting difference in this version of the game compared to earlier versions of the game. Universal Certificate of Industrial Production. The money in this version of the game comes in what do you call it? What do you call it?
What do you call it?
What's the word I'm looking for?
Money.
No.
It comes in rectangle shaped colored paper.
It's I'm totally blanking out on like a sixth grade
Let's try to figure out.
vocabulary word. Increments.
Increments.
The money in this is in increments of 100. Like normally in the game, the version of the game everyone knows, this would be 10, but here it's 1,000. Yeah, so it reads a little odd. Like it'll read something like, you're getting 70,000 per turn. It just throws you off. Actually, let's get right to the map, because that's the biggest, most
Bring on
interesting
the map.
change. This is the original Axis and Allies map. Right away, here's a big difference. There's a swastika on that map. Axis and Allies stuff doesn't have swastikas
No,
anymore.
they just skipped by that.
They use the Iron Cross. So this is the original Axis and Allies map. Green is Germany. Orange is the USSR for some reason. What? Red is England in this one. Pretty good size. The territories are different than the original map. Yeah, like you can see the values are different. Like in this game, Moscow is worth 600. Germany is worth 1,000. The UK is worth 600. So just that throws you off. But the basic concept is still all there. Basic map is still like the concept is there. You still even have the island cutouts like you do in the original. So that's the map. Then these are the cards that tell you what to do, right? And this is just like, remember the paper you get in school?
I was just about to say, this looks very much like the report card paper, so just something like...
Yeah, but old-time players will
Jeez.
remember the cards. Like, these are the cards that you remember where they tell you where to place everything, where all your units go and stuff like that.
Anglo-Egypt, Sudan.
Yeah, they're all renamed different. And here's the little rule book, just a couple pages.
It reads like instruction books you'd get with like a new VCR in 1982. Like,
Yeah, look at that with like the 10.11, 10.12, 10.13. Like, go ahead, sit down, enjoy reading all that. For Axis and Allies players, it's very, very similar, close to identical to the original game. There's not a ton of differences, but some of them are kind of notable. One of them is, according to the rules, you don't get to pick what country you play. You roll dice. So the person who gets the highest roll, they have to be a specific country, and so you never know who you're going to play if you don't ignore that rule. I would ignore that rule. Come on, you want to play who you want to play.
Yeah, but what happens if there's two people that always like being the same country?
That is how it always works too.
Yeah.
Everyone always likes to be who like.
And then you end up rolling to probably see who gets that country, right?
Yeah, well, and that's how it works. Oh, in this version of the game, submarines don't fight. they only do like a first strike sneak attack.
Okay.
So as you're moving around your other boats and transports, if subs are there, right, they can have a first strike, and there's a quick like 1 round combat, but that's it. But if you have a big naval combat and you bring in all your ships to have a big fight, subs don't take part in that stuff. They
That's
are just
interesting.
not involved in the game. The one major difference, which they took out of the game, which I'm sure a million players seeing this are either going, oh man, that would have been so cool, or they'll say like, oh, we used to have a house rule to put that is in this version of the game they have weapons development, which was in the original game, where you could spend money to
Oh, like upgrade and stuff?
like upgrade your
that's
stuff.
pretty cool.
In here, the weapons development is totally different. You can like upgrade individual types of units that give them more strength than others, but the big thing is you could develop the nuke. You could get nukes.
Really?
You can get nukes, and the way the nuke worked was when you dropped the nuke on a territory, everything died. Everything died. Doesn't matter how much stuff was there. It just blew up everything, including any factories and stuff. You just nuked the whole thing.
Jeez.
So and you the way you had to do it, you had to develop the nuke. So you developed the technology. Then when you got the nuke, you had to buy the nuke. And then once you had it, the nuke had to be transported by plane, by bomber. So you had to fly over and bomb the country.
So they made it take a while. So sometimes most games it probably didn't even end up happening.
But I guess they said they took that out of the game because the game really came down to like everyone was just racing to be who the first person could get nukes are. Which
would it just blow up one territory? You said like a spot on the map.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like, but if you flew over, let's say like Berlin, like Germany, you drop the nuke, you just wiped out all the Germany forces.
Okay.
Super like overpowered, crazy.
Well, I mean it's a nuke.
Right? Look, Japan is one territory.
Oh, so if everyone okay.
So you drop a nuke on Japan, you just
that person lost all his.
Yeah.
The game's over.
Crazy.
And like you said, so everyone's always racing to get that.
Yeah, so I guess that was the big problem with it. But yeah, like I was like super excited to get this. Like how awesome.
Now, here's my question. I know you're very excited about it, but is it more excitement because like it's a sort of another step being complete?
It's mostly excitement of just the idea that to have it in my hands and to like add it to the other Axis and Allies games. I'll probably give it like a partial playthrough once just to have done it. But it's doubtful that I'd actually be busting this out and playing off. And really, this is just all about like, oh, cool, look at this. Like, wow, I got Axis and Allies like the original. And not only the original, but like the Jedco Games freaking Australian
I was going to say, like,
know.
that's out of the two, that's the harder one to get.
Up here, certainly.
How are you going to get that?
Yeah, so, and this came to me from an awesome viewer from New Zealand. Once again, thank you, Dave. That was amazing.
Yeah,
of
it was
you.
awesome.
Absolutely amazing of you. Super freaking cool, man. Like, how awesome is that?
It's really cool.
Yeah, really cool stuff. For anyone who's watching at Board Game Geek, sorry we didn't do an in-depth like on the rules, but I don't think there's not really anything in-depth to say. Like, it's Axis and Allies. It's the Axis and Allies rules,
right? Except
for those couple of things. But otherwise, it's Axis and Allies, but cheaper. So yeah, pretty cool.
Sweet.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.